What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So I just got back from Spider-Man Homecoming. Damn, that is a good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's very, very good. Imagine a PG Deadpool. So all the witty humor and stuff like that, just maybe not so adult and all the blood and stuff, all the rest of it like that. But it's still good. Like, it's still good. It still works. Because it's Spider-Man. It works that way. Like, I got that feeling like I'm enjoying the heck out of just watching this. And it's a cool Marvel movie right at the same time. It was very good. It was awesome. So, how I'm going to do this review, guys, is the start will be a non-spoilery review. Like, the only thing I'll ever say is about, like, stuff we've seen in trailers, stuff that we already knew prior to the movie coming out. Then we'll go into some spoiler stuff. Then we'll go into sort of, like, the nitty-gritty parts. We'll get into that stuff, you know, for the people that have seen the movie and kind of want to see if, like, I saw things that they saw and stuff like that, okay? So, up to this point, like, up to I say, yo, guys, we're going to the spoiler section, it'll be all non-spoilery. And I'll even, you know, and the spoiler section will be after the grade, okay? After I give this thing a grade, alright? Okay. So, I think, like, for me, like, the first Spider-Man, like, this is, like, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. It always has a little, you know, it's a special place, you know, because it was sort of, like, the first sort of really, like, kind of good Spider-Man that came out. And then the other, it kind of got a little bit, you know, we saw, like, emo Peter Parker and stuff in the second, I think it was the second one and stuff. And it just never really, it kind of got watered down a little bit. And then we went into The Amazing Spider-Man, and that was okay. But this Homecoming, it has that Marvel finish to it, you know? It has that Marvel, like, yo, we put a lot of money into this, and it's gonna come out. And for me, like, Tom Holland, perfect Peter Parker. He really is. He's perfect Peter Parker. Because he's that young. He is young enough, and he has the voice, and he has that, you know, like, because all throughout this movie, you see, like, how, like, he hasn't quite matured as a hero. Like, he's not like this hero that knows what to do exactly when it happens, or he's always making mistakes. You know, always finding out, like, maybe this is not the right situation I should be in, or this is not where I should be, and stuff like that. It has that innocence to it, but it's hilarious at the same time. So Tom Holland for me is a perfect Peter Parker. It came off very well. His acting was great. I thought he filled that role fantastically. And Marvel knows how to cast their main heroes. They know, like, they've always struggled a little bit. You know, they've got good people to play their villains, but they never really nailed the villain. By the way, we'll get into Michael Keaton in a bit, but they know how to cast their main heroes. I mean, like, Robert Downey Jr. is freaking Tony Stark. Like, it's just the way he, you know, people, you know, associate him now. Chris Evans is as Captain America. It's just, that's the way, you know, Marvel's done a very damn good job at doing that. And Tom Holland, bang on. Like, you know, we only saw a very small amount of him in Civil War, so you didn't really know. He can carry a movie. It's perfectly fine. He's got very good casting behind him of young talent. Like, there's young actors and actresses, you know, because it's him in high school, so these are high school students and stuff like that. No, you know, they're a bit older than that, but yeah, they're playing high school students. And yeah, they do a very good job. They all do a very good job. I actually thoroughly enjoyed most of the acting in this. I mean, there are a few scenes that are like, but you get that in any movie. The humor is spot on for Spider-Man. It's like I said, it's like a PG Deadpool. They're constantly sort of cracking, like, little one-liners here and there. There's always a funny moment. It knows when to take itself seriously. It knows when it's not meant to. It has a very good balance. The entire theater that I was in was cracking up with laughter at the moment. Heck, even, and there is an after credit scene, so do stay for it because it is hilarious. It is the biggest. I'm not going to spoil it, but it is worth staying for. is very worth staying for. So please do. At least once. Like if you're gonna go watch this a few times, like I am, I'm heading back in a few days, but at least see it once. It's worth it. Yeah. So the humor is fantastic. The looks of the movie, bang on. Like it's Marvel. It's Marvel. They know how to do it. They got good CGI. They got good stuff. There are a couple of moments where like the swing didn't quite look quite right, and you're like, whoa. And like there was a moment I think where like this motorbike got whipped apart, and it didn't really work the way it should have, but it was still great. I mean, Vulture looked awesome, so good, so good. And I guess that would lead us into Michael Keaton, dude. Like for me, I'm seriously considering Michael Keaton's Vulture to be probably at least one of the top Marvel villains that we've had out of this like Marvel cinematic universe. Like that is the one thing Marvel has never really nailed down is their solid villains. They've never had really nailed it down. Like for me, Ultron, he did well. I mean, James Spader, you know, his voice was great for Ultron, and they gave a bit of a manic sort of feel to him. Civil Wars was like, yeah, we're just gonna have this guy tear apart the Avengers. It never really worked. Mads in Doctor Strange, he was okay. He just wasn't he's a great actor. He just never really had a great character to really go with. There have been good ones, but for me, Michael Keaton's Vulture was so cool, was so interesting to think, and he sort of had like, I'm like a blue collar villain sort of feel to him, right? He's a working dude. He's just trying to make, work for his family, but he's a villain and he's doing bad stuff to do it. It's very cool. And there's a twist. There is a twist in this movie that, you're like, whoa, okay. Didn't really see that coming, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But Vulture, the look, the way he sort of flew around and attacked, and the blades, and spot on. He wasn't too big of a villain. Like for me, like if you threw out, Venom or Carnage or Doc Ock or someone like that right away for Spider-Man, that's a bad move because that's like escalating him up very quickly. This is a nice step. Like Vulture's big enough to be like a good step, like that first real villain to beat for this new hero. Like this is his new Spider-Man. He hasn't really done this, like the big stage hero stuff yet for this Spider-Man. So Vulture was a great start, and Michael Keaton nailed him. He was so good. They made Vulture interesting, which is bizarre. Like Vulture has never really been the most interesting Spider-Man villain. They made him interesting in this one. I thoroughly enjoyed, Michael Keaton's interpretation, man. So good. And I'm kind of glad to see Michael Keaton back in a superhero film. Takes me back, man. Takes me back to watching those old Batman films. Whew. Some of my favorite superhero films right there. But yeah. Michael Keaton nailed it. I think probably my favorite Marvel villain. I'm going to say it. And then obviously they had the supporting cast and behind these guys, like what was it? Ned. So then obviously we had the supporting cast, and behind them we had his best friend, which was Ned. Great source of comedic, just the funny stuff coming out, the funny scenes and stuff. He's literally like what you would be if you found out if your best friend was a superhero. He's like, dude. Like, he's asking all these funny questions, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? Can you summon, like, an army of spiders? Can the spider bite me? Does it hurt? Oh, maybe it does, maybe not, because it does hurt. Oh, no, even if it does hurt. Stuff like that. Very good. Ned was great. It was good to get him away from Harry Osborn, because I feel like we've always had the Harry Osborn best friend thing. It was nice to have this nerdy guy, just being funny and being like the normal person in the room. MJ, who's basically Michelle. So this is Zendaya, and they went a different direction with her. They went a different direction with this whole thing. Like even Flash. Like Flash is this bully in generally for Peter Parker in his high school. This high school is more like an academic high school. It's not really. I don't think it's a normal high school. Like one of them referred to like, oh yeah, kids that go to the school obviously have like, what they're going to do in life, sort of thing. So I think it's an academic high school, kind of a brainy high school. I don't know how to explain it, but like even like Flash there, the bully, he's not what you expect. He's not like the quarterback or this big blonde-haired, blue-eyed, big quarterback, bully. He's not that. He's different. I'll say that. I don't want to spoil it too much, but he's good. It was a good change. I liked it. MJ, Michelle, she's a good change. Like it wasn't just the pretty girl next door. Like they had the pretty girl next door, but it wasn't MJ. She didn't really do too much. I feel like this was just them solidifying her character, just putting her in there, introducing her. They definitely showed like she has some interest in Peter, but they haven't really explored anything with that. So that's gonna come later on. They'll be in the next few movies that will generate some things there, and I think they'll do some good stuff with her. I like the change. I like the change. Happy on Tony's side. Obviously we had Tony Stark, and then it's Robert Downey Jr. It's Tony Stark. He plays more of a supportive role. He's like the mentor. We've seen that in the trailers, so that was cool. Happy, he returns as the the lovable sort of kind of chauffeur butler. Jon Favreau, he does a great job with him. He adds like some comedy to it. They have some very funny moments. Peter and him, spot on stuff there. I really like that. The sort of the love interest, Liz, she's sort of your typical kind of. I mean, she's very bright, very intelligent and stuff like that. But she's sort of the senior. She's the girl next door. She's the pretty girl that Peter really likes and stuff. And they do some interesting stuff with her near the end. So do watch out for that. But yeah, she's more of a like early on love interest, and then So obviously we all know like MJ's gonna become that that love interest for him. But yeah, I mean the entire cast. I mean we had Donald Glover in there. He played a very interesting character. He's sort of very chilled, laid back. Like, yo, bro, you got to get better at this side. This side of the job. Stuff like that. He plays a very good role there. Aunt May. The more younger and attractive Aunt May, and Tony still pokes at that. The movie still plays that up. She gets hit on from time to time from different things. I like the change. I think it's like you have to understand that the ages work. Not everyone's aunt is like their grandma. It's not. It works. I like the changes they made because it makes it different from what they've done in the previous 2 movie franchises for Spider-Man. And may I say, no, there is no origin story stuff, no mention of Uncle Ben, nothing. All just starts off. It all just goes. Because it's sort of like, oh yeah, we sort of gave you a bit of an origin. The origin of Spider-Man. So away you go. Have an adventure with us. It was great. No Uncle Ben death scene. Nothing like that. It was really good. It was really good. I loved that thing. Like Tony more took that role, that mentor role that Spider-Man's always needed, that sort of Uncle Ben role. Tony took that. And Iron Man took that. So that was cool. There is another little character there. I will just say that the conversations that her and Spider-Man had was quite delightful. You'll find out in the movie and in the spoiler section, but yeah, it was quite good. I mean, story-wise, I think the story flowed quite well. it's still allowing for Spider-Man being a brand new hero. He makes the mistakes, he makes the things, and he overcomes them. It's a very typical Marvel story. It's enjoyable to watch, though. It's enjoyable to, to learn. They throw little twists in there, little turns, little hidden things here and there that Marvel's always very good at. But it was, I think, you're kind of a basic, kind of an origin story movie story, but still spot on. Still really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So overall, what am I going to give this film? I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I'm going to give it a damn 9 out of 10. It was a fantastic, enjoyable to watch. It was a, different enough take on Spider-Man to not be like, oh man, I'm hearing the same damn story again. Nah, they did a very good job. They made Vulture interesting. They had an interesting villain, obviously, and by doing that, they did a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Few little, annoying little bits here and there. There was sort of, typical teenage stuff that someone my age, you're not really bothered with. But, it immediately goes into something that's either funny or interesting. The humor is just, you'll be laughing majority of the time, if you're into that type of humor. 9 out of 10 for me. It was really good. It was very good. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. It was very good. I'm going to see it again in the weekend, so yeah. But yeah, so 9 out of 10 of that. And that, guys, brings us to the end of the non-spoiler section. Thank you guys for watching. If you are going to head out now, I am just giving you guys fair warning. We are heading into the spoiler section now. I will ruin this movie probably for you if you have not seen it. So please go and go watch the film. Please go watch the film. It is so good. Please go watch it. Then come on back. Then you'll, with the spoiler, come into the spoiler section. I won't ruin it for you. You'll know what we're talking about. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. If you are heading out, thank you very much. Peace. Thank you. And yeah, we're going to head off into the spoiler section now. So fair warning. We're going there. Spoiler section. Right now. Okay. So I guess first up, we got to talk about the twist with Liz and, Vulture. Vulture's basically Liz's father, who's the love interest through this all. And he figures this out when he picks her up for prom and is like, you're the bad guy. You're the guy who kind of ruined my, good thing I was going with Tony and stuff like that. And, there was this very awkward moment. It was very tense. And then, obviously, as time goes on, Vulture figures that out, too. And he's, they have this very sort of kind of like dad talk in the car. Yo, I will kill you. If you mess with my business or my daughter. So, it was very much that way. I liked the twist. I didn't really see it coming. I had there's obviously that feeling maybe, but I thought they were going to keep it separate. No. But I guess they needed a way to get her out of the way so they can bring MJ up later on. I don't know. I liked the twist. I liked that little thing that they did with that. It was good. It was good. I like when they throw those twists in there, and it gave that that confusion at the end, for Peter, where he's like, man, there's this girl I like, but her dad's a criminal, and if I stop him, she's gonna be miserable because her father will go to jail. But then if I don't stop him, these weapons are gonna be here, and then I gotta save his life because his wings are gonna blow up. I liked that sort of confusion that it gave him. Because, he's meant to be a 15-year-old boy, but we know he's not 15. So he's, confused because it's man, this girl who I really like and who's finally going out with me is... his father's the bad guy, and now I have to stop him. So it's that first superhero sacrifice that he has to make. As all superheroes have to seem to do. But yeah, I liked it. I liked that little twist that they threw in. Another thing that I didn't realize at the time. I actually came home like, man, like I need to find out this character and who he's playing. Donald Glover's character, Aaron Davis. He's a criminal, yes, and he becomes like this prowler character. He's sort of like a very small character. But the nephew that he was referring to is Miles Morales. And for those who don't know, Miles Morales is another Spider-Man. He becomes another Spider-Man. Essentially sort of succeeds Peter. Which is pretty cool. I was like, damn, like, they're throwing that in already? Because, you know, like, Donald Glover's character's going like, yeah, man, like, I don't want those weapons out, like, in my neighborhood. My nephew is, he lives around here. I don't want that happening. It's Miles Morales. I was like, damn, that's so cool. I like how they did that. It was just a little thing, but I like that stuff. That's that hidden stuff that I really like. I guess, Shocker for me was like, he's probably a more real life version of what Shocker probably should be. Like, he's not like this mutant, like, shocking, like, electro-shocking thing. He was like just the henchman, essentially, so he's not the real Shocker, but it's okay. It's okay. Another thing that shocked me, if you will, was Gwyneth Paltrow coming back in as Pepper Potts. I thought she was done. I thought she was done as Pepper. I thought it was like, that wasn't going to happen. Like, that was kind of the reason why she wasn't in Civil War and why they kind of made it like those two were estranged. But, she came back in. She had her little moments. They sort of, I think they hinted at Tony was gonna, like, propose to her at the end. Like, when they did the big reveal thing, and we'll get into that. But yeah, I was shocked Gwyneth Paltrow came back in. I didn't even look up to see that she was in there. So, I mean, that's cool. I like Gwyneth Paltrow's Pepper Potts. I mean, she's like a freaking damn perfect one with the red, with her red hair and stuff. So that was cool. I like that bit. The bit at the end with kind of like the ultimate Spider-Man suit and stuff. Damn, that Spider-Man suit looked so cool. Like the gold trim and stuff like that, and it had the eyes, and they're gonna build up to that. They're gonna build up to that. They're going to keep the more traditional suit for now. Then they'll go into sort of like the ultimate Spider-Man sort of look. I liked it. I think it looked really, really cool. And I liked how he turned him down. He's like, yeah, no, I'm going to stay being the little guy for now. I'm going to stay being the little guy for now. And he's going to come in for the Avengers movies and stuff because we've already seen him in the behind the scenes stuff. But I liked that. And it was funny to me, like, Avengers have this big new brand. It's not a brand new base, but it's like an updated base. And, like, there's, like, no Avengers there. They have Vision. I don't think Black Widow's there anymore because she helped Thing, and I think she's on the run now. Black Panther ain't showing up because he's basically sided with Cap. War Machine is probably still out for the count. Who else is there? They're like, oh yeah, you're going to join the team. I was like, what team, Tony? It's you and your other suits? Is this what's going to happen? So maybe they're going to introduce some more people, but I was like, Tony, you're kind of like a one-man army right now. There's not much else to you. You and Vision, them against the world. But yeah, so I like that little scene at the end, obviously with the new suit and like him sort of turning him down and stuff, but it was good. I liked it. Another little bit that I really liked was Carol. So the voice in his suit that he unlocks, obviously he like hacks in and takes the training wheels protocol off and stuff. And the sort of like the night he spends in the basically like the superhero like recycling center sort of thing. It was like him just having these conversations with her and like her like chiming up, like when he saves Liz in the Washington Monument and stuff. She's like, now Peter, Now's your time. Kiss her. I was like, it was so good. And like him just having the conversations like, you know, Carol, like, I really like this girl. It was good. It was good. I loved that. I think it was a nice little sort of throw-in thing. Another little comedic break for it. I think it was good. I think it was very good. But yeah, I mean, like I said, no Uncle Ben stuff, but I think they might get into that, and they could do some interesting stuff with Uncle Ben. They could do some interesting stuff with Uncle Ben. They may not just make him like, yo, he just got carjacked and mugged and killed. Like, I don't like. Maybe they're gonna do something different with him. Yeah, like it was really good because they just didn't do the usual origin story, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. I think it's like, yes, like something different, something, you know, new, and it's always good to have new stuff. It's always good, you know. You don't want to rehash a story that's already had 2 rehashings done to it. So I think they did a wise choice. They did a wise choice in the way they've brought in Spider-Man, and they've done that. And since we're in the spoiler section, I'll talk about it. That end of credit scene with Captain America doing basically like the you know, the, I don't know what you would call them, like the instructional video, I guess, version of like, you know what the greatest one of the greatest attributes of a great hero is? Patience. Sometimes patience pays off, and sometimes patience just means you don't get jack shit. And it was like, it's basically Marvel going, guys, we know you stay to the end of all of our movies. We don't know why, but this one you ain't gonna get jack shit. So it was great. It was great. The other scene that they have, like, you know, just that, like the sort of the chaser one. I mean, it was just basically them stating like, yo, Vulture's not gonna, you know, turn Peter in. He's not, because he understands, like, he saved my daughter's life. He may have defeated me, but he did save my life, so I gotta respect that. You know, he beat me. I gotta respect it. I'm not selling the kid out. No way he goes. I mean, that might disappear later on. They might disappear later on, but I think, you know, he was a pretty honorable bad guy. So, there's another thing that I quite liked about him. It's kind of like an old school gangster type of bad guy. So, I think he was cool. But yeah, so 9 out of 10, guys. Seriously, go watch this film. So good. Well worth your time, well worth your money. If you love Marvel movies, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. If you love Marvel movies, you love Spider-Man, you're gonna love it. I think it was really good. Alright guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Peace. Bye.